Got to adjust, you know?
Always got to adjust. All right, so Raspy Voice Kids Live. You've joined the RVK Live Call-In Show, YouTube Live, second show ever. As you can see already, it looks better than it did the last time. We're ready, we're prepared. Hopefully the internet's better because I sped it up. We got an Ethernet cable instead of doing the Wi-Fi. We did everything we could to make this right, so hopefully it's good for y'all tonight.
Ready to hear your calls.
Yeah, people are already asking about texting and calling. So we'll see. Jordan, we have any calls yet?
We got a couple of messages.
Text messages?
Messages on the chat.
Oh, let's listen to the message. What are the messages?
No, not.
Oh, you mean like comments?
Yes.
What are they?
Josh Powell, P-A-U-G-H, says Tate Martell coming to town.
Tate Martell's already been to town. Tate Martell was in Morgantown for an actual visit. He's got a scheduled visit for Louisville, which is last. He's got a scheduled visit for Miami this week. So it seems to be down to these three. Everybody's saying really the first cookie to crumble will be Jalen Hurts. Whatever Jalen Hurts does will dictate what the rest do. If Jalen Hurts transfers to Oklahoma, then you can expect Austin Kendall to make the transfer as well as he's entered the transfer portal. If Jalen Hurts goes to Miami, then you can expect Tate Martell to not go to what people are considering the front runner, Miami, and end up in either Morgantown or Louisville. But there's a lot of moving parts. We'll have to wait and see.
Who would you rather, Jalen Hurts or Tate Martell?
Martell.
Why?
Because I've seen what Jalen can do.
All right, now I'm going to let you finish chewing your food that's in your
there's
jar.
live. There's live.
Yeah, live or not live. I'm going to let you finish chewing your food.
But we live.
Yeah, that's what I had to say. Go ahead, chew your food. I'll go ahead and talk while you chewing, okay?
Okay, you asked me the question knowing I had a full mouth.
Hold up. He had the nerve. I burped out loud and said, excuse me, and he going to look over like, oh, how rude.
No.
You said,
nope, did not say rude.
Go ahead.
I said, why did you say excuse me when you did it on purpose? You say excuse me when you bump into somebody accidentally. You don't say excuse me when you shove someone. Excuse me for the accident, not the act.
I was gonna burp either way. I was gonna burp either way.
Okay,
I was trying to be nice.
Excuse me.
Okay, well,
what's nice about excuse me?
Okay, well, that's nicer than disgusting chewing with your mouth open. That's disgusting. I'm about to have it off my chest right now as we talk.
So you're saying burping out loud, particles going everywhere is nicer with a little.
And I said, I turned my head the other way and said,
"Excuse
me."
You did not turn your head the other way.
Dude has a jar full of pizza all mashed up in his mouth.
100% did not turn his head.
All right.
And yeah, so my thing with Jalen Hurts is we know what he can do. He's a very limited player, in my opinion. He runs an Alabama offense with pros everywhere on the offensive line and talent everywhere as far as running backs and receivers. And we see what he can do. And to me, his ceiling's not as high as Tate Martell. Tate Martell is not as good a teammate. It doesn't seem, but I expect Neil Brown to be able to parcel that out.
No,
and I also don't even know if we have the option of Jalen Hurts. Nobody said a word about Jalen Hurts.
That's the truth. That's the truth. That was just a hypothetical. I mean, I'm saying fit. Maybe Jalen Hurts may fit in better because, like you said, he looks like a better team guy. But ability, I'm with you. Because the upside of Jalen Hurts is that he can run. Dude can run. But you know what? Tate Martell can too also. So, yeah, I'm excited to see if somehow he lands in Morgantown, what he can do, arm and legs.
Just don't chew into the mic.
No, I like the dual threat quarterback personally. Any circumstance, dual threat, I want dual threat quarterback. If you give me that choice. But that's me.
Just Dustin says Jalen Hurts for a year while Martell sits for a transfer year.
I don't think Martell wants to sit. I think he's going to try to graduate by the end of January so that he'll be eligible for all three starting this fall. I think that's that's the point of him leaving Ohio State. He doesn't want to sit. Who else we got up there?
Nick Lafferty. I saw Neil Brown offered Marvin Harrison Jr. and he has visited with Nick Troy Fortune. Does Neil Brown sleep?
Neil Brown may not sleep. All he does is work. He just hustles. I love it so far. His wife and kids may not, but that's not my business.
Yeah, no, he's going after it. Marvin Harrison Jr., I haven't seen any YouTube on him. All I know is that his name is Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, the great receiver for the Colts. This dude did everything, and like we were talking about earlier, everything. So I would be excited to get him here. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we're going after these kids that maybe we didn't go after before, have a better shot for whatever reason. It's an exciting time right now for the West Virginia football program. And it's funny because just a few months ago, we were looking like, wow, this is going to be a dark time for West Virginia. It's a football program.
Yeah, what you just said is exactly how I feel about it. I think that I think 100% what you're saying is the case, is that people were not excited for next year. It wasn't that we didn't think winning was possible, but there was no excitement, especially after the bowl game. People think that Captain Jack can be good, but they need a good winter.
His name is Jack Allison.
They expect a good winter, a good spring, a good fall, or good summer before we get to the fall. With these other guys, with getting Neil Brown in a whole new system offensively and defensively, there's a spark, there's an interest, there's an excitement. I think recruits see that as well. We talked about that already. Darnell Wright being interested in a way that he was not before. We'll see what happens as far as Doug Nestor's concerned and other recruits that are out there. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Josh talks about he sees that tackle from Huntington visiting. We talk about that on the podcast, so pay attention on Thursday. We talk about Darnell Wright, big Darnell Wright from Huntington High. Go ahead. Oh, never mind. I was wondering why he's be quiet. Oh, yeah, see? And chewing with his mouth closed. I'm proud of you. Proud of you. We live and we learn. Trev says, let's go Mountaineers. That's right.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good. What's good with you?
I'm doing good. I'm just wondering, how do y'all feel that Tate Martell, one of the top quarterbacks in the nation not too long ago, is actually looking at WVU for a transfer spot?
Who is this, first of all?
Yeah, because whenever I've been watching, what was he on? Quarterback One on Netflix, that show.
Who is
Whenever
this?
I
Who
first
we have
saw
on the phone?
him,
Yeah, who's on the phone?
Vincent Brown, my bad. It's kind of laggy. I'm kind of watching the show and then seeing y'all.
Yeah, you can't. Don't watch the show while you're on the phone. That because it'll throw you off.
All right.
But we're excited for Tate. That was what we were just saying. We're excited. If Tate decides to transfer, that means that Neil Brown feels like he can get him to fit into the program at least well enough. And we trust Neil Brown. So far, he's done everything right. He seems very on top of everything. Now, if we talk about talent itself, go watch YouTube. Go watch Tate Martell's YouTube. His quickness, his release, this dude's a stud. There's a reason why he was at Ohio State. So if the fit is right, there's no question he has the ability.
And I think off the top, to be honest with you, Vincent, we wouldn't have had him visit Morgantown. It's not like he got to choose whether he was going to visit Morgantown or not on his own. Visiting Morgantown was a mutual discussion between him and the coaching staff. So when he gets to Morgantown, him coming to Morgantown means the coaches must have at least some trust that his character is such that he could fit into what they're trying to do at WVU.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 'Cause, I mean, he honestly, he's just like Johnny Manziel, in my opinion, talent-wise. I mean, he's just a young kid that has great potential. And, I mean, WVU with the new start with the coach, Neil Brown, can't wait to see what a new quarterback can do.
Yeah, sounds good. You got another call?
Appreciate the
All right,
call.
thank y'all.
Thank you, Vincent.
All right, thank you.
We'll talk to you.
Was it Vincent or was it Jason? Vincent. My bad.
So,
No, I loved him for the Eagles.
oh,
Was it Vincent Brown? No, Troy Vincent. Excuse me.
I don't know. All right, Just Dustin asked, realistic record for next year? That's really hard to tell. We have no idea. We haven't even finished recruiting yet, so I can't answer that. There's
I
no way
feel
to
like
know.
it's really easy. Like, people make this complicated. We're going to go 12-0. Big 12 champion.
Yeah.
Beat Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, which we haven't been able to do the past 4 years.
Yeah.
In national championship, college football playoff. Just Dustin, there's your answer.
All right. Travis is out there with his tonight, huh? He's out there.
These old things.
All right.
These old
What
things.
do we got for Jordan?
No phone calls yet. Still.
Speaking of shoes, you know what I was thinking the other day?
What?
Have you ever bought a pair of Vans in your entire life?
No, I got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers.
Got my Vans on, but they look like sneakers. Got my Vans on.
Turner Smith asks, when are you going to talk about guys standing to pee? We already talked about
We talked about that. We talked about it on the podcast. If you haven't seen or listened to the podcast, I can't help you. It's on the podcast from last week, the most recent one. We went into extensive detail about why we feel the way we do. We're not going to give it away on air. You got to check it out. RaspyVoiceKids.net. Get to the podcast. Anchor FM, TuneIn Radio,
Yeah.
iTunes, Google. Is it Google Play? Google Pods, whatever it is. We're everywhere. Stitcher, Podbean. But go check it out because we talk about it. We went into detail. Big words and everything. It's all good.
Yeah, with the Vans, by the way, I was talking to my homeboy, and he was like, man, I could have bought this many pair of Vans. And I'm like, Vans? I know people rock them. It's just not me. Speaking of shoes, too, Chucks. You ever had a pair of Chucks? Yeah. This is what I don't understand about Chucks. Chucks are, okay, they got the old school feel. Literally, when you put them on, you're walking on the ground. Like, there's no support. There's no comfort. There is no other reason to wear Chucks other than you think they look cool.
Fashion over function, Jay.
Yeah, man, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Jeremy's 78 years old over here.
I got these old feet,
he's talking about sensible
old
shoes.
knees.
This dude's talking about sensible shoes.
But Chucks never made sense. Even
You
when
know,
I
they
was
got a-
16
they
playing
got a-
ball
they
and
got a-
feeling good, Chucks, I'm like, why would I put a pair on? I'm
They
like,
got a
seriously.
podiatric shoe for seniors, real thick sole,
And they got the Velcro.
2 different colors.
I'm going to make that
black,
hot.
white,
I'm going to make that hot.
gray.
Trevor also said, do you guys think the basketball team will get their first Big 12 win tonight?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, I said yeah. Somebody asked this when I was live on Periscope. Yeah, I think so. I think we get a win tonight. But I always think we're going to get a win. So it's hard to ask me.
And it's tough to win on the road. That's the biggest thing. Are we on the road today?
Yeah, we're in.
That's to say, we're in Fort Worth. In the Big 12, it's hard to get wins on the road. And, I mean, I know it's hindsight and we already lost, but that's why it would have been nice to get that one over Oklahoma State because it was at home, sub-500 team.
Better question.
Yeah.
Sloler asked Jay Fiend, what you think about them remaking The Lion King?
I'm so excited. It's been far too long. This is a great question. This is a
Much
great
better
question. This is to prove once and for all. They heard the argument, Toy Story or Lion King, and right now they're flexing on them. When it comes out, flexing.
They remade the movie because they realized we didn't do a good enough job. That's why Jeremy got crushed in The Lion King.
Because people can't get enough.
So now we need to make a new movie. We got to catch up.
To get enough.
We got to catch up.
Now I'm really excited for it. I'm gonna go see it opening weekend. Look, you know what? I may even dress up. I may make fun of people all the time for dressing up during movies. Sorry. Look, I may have to do that this time. I love the story.
Yeah, I ain't dressing up for nothing.
I love it.
Wakanda. I did. I know I'm not dressing up for nothing. Hey, we give me a piece of pizza, please?
Yeah, and Josh, by the way, that's the
Play
thing.
right here.
We've lost 4 in conference.
real.
3 of the 4 have been really close. So we're not far off. Despite everybody not playing and the ups and downs, and we went through on the podcast, we go through all the statistics of the turnovers, the assists, the not forcing turnovers, all that stuff. But with all that being said, all 3 of the 4 games that we've lost have come down to the end. We were up 21 in one of those games. So what happens when we actually start clicking?
Yeah, but the big question is, do we ever start clicking?
That's a good question.
Some teams never start clicking. I mean,
This is the truth, but I guess you just expect it. I guess that's
the other thing, too, is that there's so many lineup changes. It's really hard to see how we would start clicking, you know what I mean, since there's no continuity yet.
People always say, well, if we hit shots and if we do this, look, that's not a way to live. That's not a way to live. I just, you know what, hopefully, and I keep saying it, hopefully we just get it. Hopefully it starts something, maybe these guys mature. Maybe these freshmen, start having that confidence just to go out there and ball. Not worry about making mistakes. Just let the talent shine. Maybe that's the answer. And the answer also may be wait till 2019.
It is 2019, Jay. But also
Regular season. Next year, okay? Wait till next year.
The main thing with this team is I think we understand that this team is not very good. It's very young at important positions. Sometimes you're just going to have to live with it. We're going to have to just go through the growing pains. We did with JC and Dax, and it paid its dividends later. 3 out of 4 Sweet 16s. If that's not good enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. I want better, but I understand it's really hard to be much better with what Bobby Huggins has got. Oscar Schwebe is a good start. Derek Culver is a good start to go along with the guys in the backcourt.
Let's talk about a true West Virginian. Through and through. Who loves West Virginia more than anybody? We know that's Bobby Huggins, but we also know the man from Van, Tony Gibson, our defensive coordinator. We are man from Van guys. We love Tony Gibson. He's on NC State. What do you think?
I mean, what you supposed to do?
It's true. I don't know. I'm glad that he got another opportunity. I'm glad that he's. And you knew what would happen. And I'm glad that I had some people joking with me. Some Marshall fans was like, "Hey, we're gonna get Tony Gibson down here." I'm certainly look. I don't hate Marshall, but I also didn't want Tony Gibson having to deal with that nonsense. and I didn't want to have to defend him to my other fellow Mountaineers like I do sometimes anyway. But he lands at NC State, which seems to be a good spot. But the biggest thing is they come to town in September. He comes back for a homecoming in Morgantown. So that should be exciting and fun.
Yeah, he's a Power 5 coach, so he took a Power 5 job. And to me, a lot of what people were worried about or complaining about is proven. It's hard. You know, you look at Venables. Brent Venables got ran out of Oklahoma. Now he's the greatest that there is in as far as college football defensive coordinator is concerned. You know, Saban, of course, being a head coach. Down there at Clemson. It's really hard to play defense in the Big 12. It's really hard. We'll see how the man from Van does in the ACC. Nick Lafferty asked, what are the chances we see Sags, Culver, and Oscar Schwebe on the floor together? 0% chance.
Think so?
Zagaba Kanate is going pro unless the NBA tells him you can't go pro.
Okay. So, all right.
Because my thing with
because if you say that Sag said last year that he wasn't even close, he tested the waters, but he said there was never really the option to go. Do you believe he's improved so much this year? He's been hurt. He's been hurt all this year. So what prevents him from coming back his senior year? Like, I don't know his family life. I don't know his financial status. But I would just think if you're talking about basketball-wise, if last year was a good idea, it would seem, especially with the injury, holding him back, that it could possibly be
So what
an option.
percent chance do you give it?
I say 50-50.
Okay.
I'd say it's 50-50 now.
I think 50-50 is reasonable, but I don't think there's any chance. I think Sags is gone. I think one way or the other he's gone. And I think the rift between him and Bobby Huggins is part of the reason why. I think he's gone.
Okay.
Whether he goes pro, he goes overseas. I mean, whether he goes NBA or overseas, I don't think you see Sags in Morgantown next year.
The other thing is you're talking about all three of them. Let's say they all stay. I mean, he stays, and there's Culver and Big O and Sags. That's too many people in the paint. You don't have to rotate those three. There's no way all three because, I know Sags has been hitting the three, can stretch the floor a little bit, but these guys are all around the bucket, all around the basket. Unless you're running some kind of zone, that's just too many big men on the floor at one time.
What's RHCP, Jordan?
Red Hot Chili Peppers. How did you not know this was coming?
Red Hot Chili Peppers are one of the greatest bands of all time.
I was at work the other day. The song came on, and it's take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Come on now, Jordan.
Yeah, sucks for real. Like you said, overrated before. Now you're saying they suck.
I don't like their music.
But you think they suck?
Yeah, I'm throwing out my hot opinion in here.
Is that they suck? It's not just that they're not as good as everybody thinks they are. You think they suck?
I think their music sucks.
Okay.
I don't know their persons, like their personality.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about their music.
Yeah, I don't care for their music.
And you think it sucks though?
I think it sucks. Yeah, personally.
Huh? There's nothing to say to that.
Yeah, there is. Jordan, you are who I thought you were. What do you?
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like I don't see. Tell Erber nobody cares what she has to say about whether somebody sings or doesn't sing. Okay, get back in the kitchen. Anyway, get Trevor a sandwich. But anyway,
He's just joking.
no, that's our cousin. I can say what I want.
I'll say. Well, you probably should establish the fact this is cousin. Okay.
Jeremy, want to sing? I can give you some sweet vocal reverb.
No, I could kill it. I could kill it. I mean, I don't got nothing in my head right now, but I could kill it. No. It just has to come to me. I can't just.
I'll turn it on whenever you're ready.
You only tell them, all right. When I first walked in here, Brandon and Jordan are going to start making fun of me because of the way I have my facial hair right now. Look, what happened was I didn't get to shave, and they're going to start hating on me. Why were you hating on me?
Can you tilt up your chin?
Neck beard.
Why?
It's not as bad as I thought it was. To be honest. People.
This is not just the neck.
Yeah. What you like? You're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm fine. I thought you had more to say about the neck beards. I thought because I got a whole earful and I kept going back to it. And I'm like, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, maybe I should clean it up. I really don't pay
No,
attention.
we were just telling you because the rest of the world already knows about neck beards and they already understand why you shouldn't have one and what you do to keep from getting one. I don't feel like I need to teach anybody. I was just telling you.
What would you think of Kendall coming here?
Like Jeremy said, Jeremy always says, and I agree, bring all the talent. So if Austin Kendall shows up in Morgantown, that's more talent. Jack Allison is a pocket passer. Trey Lowe is a dual threat. Austin Kendall is a pocket passer who's talented enough to make Oklahoma's roster. We'd love to have him in Morgantown, without question.
The truth is, I usually I'll YouTube these people. Like when I see players thinking about transferring, high school recruits, first thing I do, go to YouTube, check it out. I haven't checked him out to see how good he looks. But here's the thing. He's at Oklahoma. Actually, you know what? I did. And he could put the ball on a dime.
Sure can.
I forgot. Yes, I did. I did check him out. He does look good, but I'm kind of passing quarterbacks are great. But in college football, I would like, if I could choose, I will also like a quarterback who's mobile, who will take off and run. Now, Willie, I'm not sure. I do know Tate Martell well.
Baxter Mallory has some points for you, Jeremy.
What do you say? We had D&D later. No, I need to. I need to start playing Dungeons and Dragons. Every time that my Mountaineers leave me feeling a certain
he's
way.
making a point not about Dungeons and Dragons.
I know.
You care less. He says neckbeard. That's the point he's making. It's a very stereotypical thing. Jeremy always likes to act like I'm just making up stuff to make fun of him or something.
Yeah.
Like I just invented this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a grooming thing. It's a very basic. But then go and get on the mic and talk about January, but then say about neckbeard.
Yeah, he gonna talk about neckbeards, but then be chewing with his mouth all full and open on camera.
I was definitely talking. What is it?
We got a text message.
Chewing
What's
and
text?
talking.
This is Jeremy with WV Sports News.
What's up, Jeremy?
Jeremy Thomas in the building.
2 questions for you guys. Will you all be coming to the 304 Elite Camp again this year?
304.
And with Neil Brown making in-state recruiting a priority, we will see more WV kids on the roster. Will we see?
I think we see plenty of West Virginia kids on the roster, to be honest with you. I think it's a point that's overblown. We have lots of West Virginia kids on the roster. We have lots of West Virginia kids who are playing. We usually don't miss out on top talent that often.
On defense.
When's
When's the last time we had a West Virginia kid come to Morgantown playing offense?
name the last time we had a big-time West
I guess
Virginia.
Ted Wesco was just there.
Trevon Wesco just was first team All Big 12.
We get fullbacks, in there.
Elijah Wellman.
Yeah. Fullback.
We had was the receiver from down your way. What's his name?
Bowen.
Drew Bowen.
Drew Bowen, okay.
Of course, he's not a star, but we don't usually have a whole lot of offensive stars in the state.
That's true.
Ryan Switzer, we offered his junior year, but he'd already decided he was going to North Carolina. And people keep saying that's another myth. People keep saying that we never offered Ryan Switzer. Switzer got on his Twitter and said himself, West Virginia offered me my junior year. So that whole myth has been put to rest. I think we're going to see – now the difference will be Cabell County. The real issue is Cabell County and Wayne County to some extent. People miss that point. We're not losing a lot of kids except for in Cabell County and Wayne County for the most part as far as big-time stars. And those guys are a lot of times offensive linemen, which is a big deal. But that's where we're losing them if we're losing them. And I don't think we're going to lose. I think Neil Brown is going to make sure that like the situation happened with Amir Richardson, I don't think that's going to happen under Neil Brown's tenure.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the same thing happens with basketball. We do this thing where we act like West Virginia doesn't recruit players. Yes, we've got more talent in state than we've had maybe ever, at least more recognized talent than we've had ever. But there's still only 1.8 million people in the state. There are only so many kids who are going to play Division I football because it's such a small state. I don't think Neil Brown's going to change it that much. 304 at least going to help those kids get their name out there to other places. But the kids who can play, West Virginia's going to know, and they already had him circled from before.
Pick up that kid from Polka. That's out to you, Jeremy Thomas.
Yeah, it's your job.
Oh, boy, got hurt. Make sure he comes to WVU. Roik Air 555 talks about the line for week 2 against Missouri.
Why are we talking about lines? We don't even know who our quarterbacks are. If we
It's
get
true.
Tate Martell, it completely changes everything. You get Darnell Wright, and he's in the rotation for offensive line. Injuries, transfers in, transfers out, all that stuff. That's why I don't like talking about records this early. You have no idea what the team even is. It's like people saying last year that our team was going to be, or in December after the bowl game, our team was going to be terrible. We didn't even know who our coach was. The next thing we know, we have a completely different coaching staff. There's no way to know. We have no idea. This staff might come in and be abysmal.
But it should
I doubt it.
It should be exciting, though. There should be a show. Bryant transferred from Clemson to Missouri.
Kelly Bryant. Yeah.
So it should be fun. It should be fun to watch him play and see what his bounce back is, because that should be his first big game. I don't know who Missouri has week 1, but I'm going to assume that, this is the big-time stage for him to show what he has.
When's the last time we had a 5-star kid in West Virginia? That's what it means by keeping kids at home is getting the best. We didn't even get the top 5 players in the state this year. There's not that many 5-star kids, so your percentages on getting them are really low.
I think he's talking about just elite talent.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm saying he just said there's not that many 5-star kids. We got both Stills boys.
Yeah.
We got
That's what I'm
Trevon
saying.
West-
He's talking about top tier talent, but like you said, we got both Stills boys.
We got who else did we? I mean, we can go down the list of players.
And Amir Richardson was coming
we got
until Dana decided to pull his scholarship, but we
And then he
recruited him
left.
to West Virginia. Yeah,
like I don't know what people are
the
talking
big
about.
they're talking about the two big offensive linemen down there from Cabell County.
Yeah, well, we didn't lose Darnell Wright yet. He's visiting this weekend.
No.
Doug Nestor is still committed to Ohio State,
Yeah.
but it's a soft commit, and he's still considering. We don't know what we actually have yet. Like I don't know. I just don't agree with that theory that because like at some point somebody made that I saw on Twitter that I loved was you name the last time there was a West Virginia kid somewhere tearing it up. Ryan Switzer's the last one. But when's the last time we didn't get a kid and then he's an All-American, All-Conference? When's the last time?
Yeah.
Name that kid for me. Because James Roberts is the one who asked. You name the kids for me that is tearing it up somewhere outside of the state that West Virginia didn't get. Because I can't name them. So, I mean, I don't think we do as bad a job in the state as people think.
Matt Lucas talks about Jet Life Right. How's it say? What's his name on Twitter?
Yeah, Jet Life Right. I think he's talking about Darnell Wright, though, because Jet Life Right has already signed his.
Okay.
Which, of course, he can ask for waiver and release.
Well, Josh talks about the linebacker from Alabama, which everybody's
Darius
been.
Cohen,
and if you've seen him at all, he's
and if you listen to our show, you heard Chris Anderson talk about him. He said if you're going to design a linebacker,
prototypical
on a video
linebacker.
game, he's the guy.
Long
you're
arms,
designing.
fast. Like he should be exciting to watch. Like I'm so pumped. I think our defense is going to be better than what it's been the last few years.
We need Darnell Wright more than we need Nestor, but we need them both. Holgerson's son is at Houston.
Yeah,
Trev. Also, the other question says, I wonder if Chug has said anything to Tate Martell. Chris Chugginoff enrolled at Ohio State. Of course, he was a quarterback at WVU before. Evidently, if he said anything about WVU, it must have been positive. It's hard to say, though, because Chris Chugginoff was there under the Dana Holgerson regime. So this is a completely different regime. So I don't know what he would have said. Maybe
and you just never know the relationship. Just because they were there playing quarterback at the same time, you have no clue what the relationship is like. So.
I mean, they were in the same room together, the quarterback's room together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would help as far as time they spent, like, doing the same drills and things like that. But besides that, yeah, who knows? But that's a good question, actually. I appreciate you, Mr. Sanders. We're doing our best, and we only can do well if y'all show us love. So you showing love, we appreciate you. The expectations for Tonkery and Ferns, it's hard. It's hard to say for Ferns because there's some people questioning or suggesting that Ferns may not even continue to play football because of injuries and because of wanting to focus on his degree. Those are just rumors. Nothing I've ever heard official. Tonkery is just going to get bigger and faster.
Absolutely. He showed flashes, and he's quick. And the more he learns the system, and it seems like he's hungry. And all we've ever heard was great things coming from the defensive staff about Tonk. I'm excited to have him on the field. Him, Cohen, all the dudes who are coming back at the line at the linebacker spot.
If
man,
we had
it should be
David
nasty.
Long, if
Can
he
you
had
imagine?
to come back,
Can you imagine?
But you can't blame him for 1 second for leaving because the guy's a star. He's a stud.
Jeremy states Dorian Etheridge from Capital was a freshman All-American in 2017 for Louisville.
So there's one. Dorian Etheridge.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Okay,
I
so
forgot
there's
him.
one.
He's down there at Louisville.
Say the name again.
Jeremy Thomas says Dorian Etheridge was a 2017 freshman All-American. So
But-
there's
but-
one.
but
But
what
wait
I-
a minute. There's one. We got a phone call. But my point is we don't miss that many. But like you said, there's one. In the whole class 2017, there's one. But anyway,
And was he a diamond in the rough or?
let's hear the phone call. Hello?
Hello?
Who we got here?
This is Jason from Morgantown. I just want to first off say I'm a recent subscriber to the YouTube channel. Been following you guys for a while. So I love your all's content. And it's an amazing platform what you guys are trying to do. But I'll leave it real quick. How do you guys compare the defense of what Tony Gibson had with the 3-3-5 and the speed that we had with the type of linebackers and stuff like that, and then Vic coming in, revamping that defense, getting our line a little more beefier from what he had down at Troy at that normal 4-down lineman spot, and then allowing the speed of our defensive backs and stuff like that and our linebackers really take over the field. How do you think the Big 12 is going to handle that and the reaction of everything that the Big 12 brings?
That's a great question. But before we answer it, I need you to give me a raspy voice.
Raspy voice kids.
Yeah,
It's
Jason,
close
I
enough.
wouldn't have done it either. But thank you for all the kind words you said.
No, we need to make every person who calls in hit us with that.
But thank you for the
Go
kind
ahead.
words. Honestly, man, we're working hard. We love doing this, and we appreciate you for listening and for subscribing. So thank you. As far as what Vic Koenig is going to do as defensive coordinator, I always like to say I think it's more about the Jimmies and Joes than it is the X's and O's. I don't think the 3-3-5 was as bad as it was execution. So if we don't tackle well, we're not going to win games. So one of the things that Vic has said is we're going to tackle, and we're going to tackle often. The best tacklers will play. That's one of the things he said. He said there's three kinds of players. Players who like contact, players who avoid contact, and players who love contact, players who will deal with contact, and players who avoid contact. He said the players that avoid contact, we can make them love it. He said players who love contact, that's what we want. The players who avoid contact, they're not going to be here.
No, absolutely. And anytime you bring in a new staff, there's an adjustment period. So maybe the players aren't perfect for his schemes, but they'll figure it out. They seem like they have pretty good wherewithal as to what they want to do. So maybe there's an adjustment period. But I also feel like we have a good crop of defensive linemen. You want to go forward down linemen, that's what we've been recruiting. The Stills boys and a bunch of other defensive linemen. Gitmer.
Miter.
Yeah, that Miter. I said Gitmer because he has a G. It's silent. But still.
Reese Donahue.
Yeah, we got big dudes there. Like I said,
Jeffrey Pooler.
there might be a little bit of an adjustment period, but I feel like we can play and we have the linebackers to play whatever system they want to implement, as long as our guys can get it up top mentally.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that's nice is that you've seen Neil Brown's willingness to adjust. He's an air raid guy who adjusted to running the ball as often, if not more often than he passed. I think that he as the leader will do the same thing defensively, making sure that whatever we need, we will do. Whatever our personnel fits is what will happen. But we're going to go to our next caller. Thank you again, Jason, for calling in.
Well, I'm gonna leave it with this as well, real quick. I understand exactly what you guys are saying, but how do you think the Big 12 offenses are going to? I mean, we have some talent in the second string and stuff like that showed up at the spring game last year. That's not afraid to willing to go out there and make a tackle. Then we have the other guys who just have pure raw talent, who were on the field and would show up that they would make tackles, but at the end, they come game time, it was like they were sore, they didn't hit, or whatever the case may be, or they were just completely out of place.
Yeah, I think.
But the offenses themselves, how do you see the Big 12? Because when Vic was in the Big 12 previously, he kind of had a good run where he had top-tier defenses, top 3, top 2 defenses, respectively, when he was coaching there.
He made big.
And then the other thing is
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
The other thing I was going to say is, how's Neil going with this offensive with Coach Brown and Coach Scott, right? Chad Scott is the new offensive coordinator. How are they going to handle the four-headed monster of running back that we have this year coming in? Everybody's going to be vying for time.
That's right. They could go by running back by committee, or if they deem they're going to let the best man play, they'll let the best man play. The thing about Vic being in the Big 12, clearly he knows what it's like to coach in the Big 12. And if like I said, if our players aren't adapted to it or adapted to his style, I feel like, like I said, there may be an adjustment period, but that's the reason why they're great coaches. He's done it before. Wait till he realizes what he has and where he wants them, and then we'll see if the kids buy in. And I fully expect them to, and him having that feel for the Big 12 already is going to be great. But what I'll say about the Big 12 offenses is no matter what defense you run against them, you're going to have a problem. We've seen the SEC get ran over. Matter of fact, they shut Oklahoma down in the first half. What happened once Oklahoma realized how good they are? They adjusted and scored 34 points. So no matter what, when you're in this conference, defense is going to be difficult.
Yep, totally agree.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. You all have a good evening. Next call or whatever. I'm going back to watching your show.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You got another caller? Not yet, no.
Oh, I thought you were saying we had another caller.
No, I'm just saying that,
All right, so who we got there? How many
Just
commits?
go ahead.
No, you got it.
No, Justin talking about picture Houston beating Oklahoma in week 1.
No, I would kill.
Oh, excuse me. It's just Dustin. Would you be excited? What'd you say?
I'd be furious.
Oh my goodness. I'm extremely slow. Or you can take it. I'm extremely slow. if they have the nerve, if Dana has the nerve to get over the hump
Yeah.
with Oklahoma.
All right, make sure you got the show turned down when you're listening to us, when you're on the phone with us. Who we got here?
It's Baxter.
Hey, what's up, Baxter?
How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, man, just listen through your phone. Don't listen to the show. Mute the show and just talk to your phone. Otherwise, you'll be behind with us.
All righty.
What you got for us tonight?
Hey guys, first time caller. Oh well, duh. I just want to start out by saying Lion King, not Toy Story, and Strawberry, not Brown Sugar.
That's 1-1. 1-1.
Well, you got the most important one, Lion King. I'm with you.
That's good. That's good.
Seriously, been a big supporter and follower. Recommend you to all my friends. So excited that you guys are branching out and adding a call-in portion. I love Gibby. I absolutely love Gibby. I hate to see him go. I think he brought a lot to the game, especially in recruiting. But being a defensive-minded person, I'm totally fired up about Vic and his approach, because if you could describe our defense, it was some definitely wanted to hit, some maybe wanted to hit and would hit if they were in the right place, and the rest just would not tackle. And I look forward to the most improved thing for our defense in being solid tackling.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what I'm looking forward to also. I can forgive almost anything but missed tackles. I don't like regularly missing tackles. I will say scouts have said it's an epidemic. The scouts at the Oklahoma game said it's an epidemic not only through college but even in the NFL. So as frustrating as it was for Mountaineer fans, I think it's happening everywhere. I think it's the rules, not just the rules in the game, but the rules as far as practicing, how often you're allowed to hit, how much contact you're allowed to have. So guys just aren't used to it. That said, I still think it's going to improve because
There's a focus, and especially because there's a focus on it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Real quick, stay on the line with us, Baxter. Real quick, I got to get to Frost Sports. Thomas Begley. He wants to know, Brandon and Jeremy, how much you bench. Honest answers only, Jay.
Honest answer. First of all, Frosh, how much do you bench? Then add one.
Yeah. I'll say the last time I ever bench pressed, I had a torn labrum. Very important that you know this.
See?
Very important you know this.
See?
And I put up, I think, 270 with Corey Foggin watching, if anybody wants to check. At the
I'm not
at
lying.
the OU rec.
And by the way, I never benched. I never did blah, blah, blah. Most I ever did was 265. If I got back in the gym, I would kill it. But, all right, appreciate the question. All right,
Yeah, but it was
back to the call.
All right, but yeah, no, I'm with you back here. We're back here with you, Baxter. I'm excited about the defense in large part because I love Tony Gibson. We called him the man from Van. We love the dogs. I didn't want to see him go. I was hoping he would stay in some capacity at the very least. I don't think defense was as bad as people thought it was. I think the defense got tired because of injuries. I think the defense got tired because of the way we recruited. I think the defense got tired because of the way the offense played. If you play fast, you have to be efficient. We weren't always as efficient as we could have been, especially in critical moments. I'm looking especially at the Oklahoma State game. I think it's a good example. Everybody's going to look and see where we didn't get stops, but it's more important that we didn't get scores or continue drives, so the defense kept going back out there. Eventually, you're going to relent. So I'm excited about what you're saying with Vic, too. And I just like Vic's attitude. I just like the way he talks. Now, it's more important to walk it than it is to talk it, but a good way to start is to say what I like to hear. Talk to me nice. Shout out to Aunt Del Percio.
Yep.
You still there, Baxter?
Yeah, I'm still here. Absolutely. I really feel that when teams seem to have success, it's when the kids are really challenged. And I just think overall this new coaching staff is going to build those relationships and challenge the kids. And I think we're going to see some players come out ahead that maybe we hadn't seen before. I'm going to get off here. Love you guys. Keep doing what you do.
Thanks a lot, Baxter.
We
Shout out
agree
to you,
100%.
man. Thank you for the support.
Nick Lafferty's had the nerve to ask, what's in the fridge? You call him back.
What
lower.
you think's in the fridge, Nick?
Get swilled.
What you think? There's only one. Swill Dog, the finest hard cider in all of the land. We're checking our voicemail right now. Somebody called. We missed it.
Calling them back.
You have reached the voicemail.
Yeah, we can't have names and phone numbers out there. So,
Can
wait for
we
him to call
keep
back.
the dog's name, or is that gone? Just Dustin.
That's a Tony Gibson thing.
That's Tony G.
And Tony
Tony Gibson.
Yeah, it's Tony Gibson. It's the man from Vans. So
I think the dogs go where he goes.
Thomas Begley said not bad. That's not bad. I mean, I feel like it's pretty good. 270. I wish we could look at the percent of population. What percentile does that put us in?
I don't know. I know once you get to 300 pounds, that you can bench 300 pounds. I forget how much. It's like 90% of the world or something. like that.
Yeah. But also bench pressing is the least important stat when we whipping people. So don't worry about that.
I get the feeling.
Nah,
Frost
he's young.
Sports-
He's young.
And he probably benches a lot. He stays in the gym.
No, he's young.
You have reached the
Okay, they tried calling us back, and then I tried calling them back. So I don't know. This person really wants to talk to us. Apparently.
All right. So if you called, call again. We're trying to get you. We're not doing the call away anything. We just do the call back.
During the conference with Neil Brown, did you hear him say, "I just don't want to be miserable"?
Yeah.
I mean, he was joking, and laughing, but he's talking about coaches having fun, and he's like, nobody's having more fun than Dabo, and that's the truth.
Nobody.
Dabo's
I
just
love
enjoying
Dabo.
himself.
BYOG. And also, not only BYOG. You got him on? All right, who we got here? Who we got here?
Not Tony Caridi.
Who
Not-
is it?
not-
Who is it?
Not Tony Caridi.
Yeah, but there's several options. So who is it? I can hear him now.
Not Tony Caridi off of Twitter.
Oh, not Tony. That's like the at not Tony.
Not
Creed.
Tony Caridi.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was
What's
wondering.
up?
Usually you're on top of things.
No, I was like, okay, it could be anybody. What's up, not Tony Caridi? If you don't follow, go follow him at not Tony Caridi. Was it? It's not at not Tony Caridi though, is it? What is it?
What's that?
Is it at not Tony Caridi?
Your Twitter handle.
on Twitter.
At Faux Caridi.
At Faux Caridi, FAUX. For those of y'all who don't speak French, what's up, man? How you doing?
Well, not bad. How you doing?
We're good tonight. It's fun tonight.
I was calling in. I had a little bit of news for you. I just saw on the Twitter. Our officials for tonight. We've got Ray Natil, Marcus Pettigrew, and our favorite. We got John Higgins.
You didn't have to say it. I
Right
already knew.
when you said who's reffing. Because
Yeah.
don't nobody know anybody except for Higgins. Well, at least that's the only one I
If
know.
you don't know who John Higgins is, he's the famous Mr. 35-2 in Allen Fieldhouse, where we still almost won, even though we were cheated. He's part of the crew who allowed Azubuike to have a lane violation every free throw he shot, then called a critical lane violation against us late in the game.
I hope he feels sorry for. I hope he feels
Man,
sorry for
forget
us.
John Higgins.
I hope he feels sorry.
And if
for
you haven't
us.
checked it out, you're already on our YouTube. Go look at why we hate John Higgins. We gave you all the reasons they still apply.
he should know that we don't need anything else against us in this game.
No, but he don't care. It's about John Higgins and that highlighted hair.
John Higgins hates us. I think he hates Hugs. But the thing is, I think we hate him a heck of a lot more.
Do we hate him more than Kentucky does?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think I do, at very least. And I think Hugs does, too.
You know that Kentucky fans sent him death threats, right? So I would be careful about whether or
And
not
by the
you
way,
hate him more.
what does us hating him? How does that affect his life? He directly affects us by hating us. He sends people to the free throw lines, fouls out our whole team, and we just look at him like, "Come on."
I know people. I know people send him gummies that he may not appreciate, so that does affect his life. I know it does. Now we don't, but I know people who do. A person who does.
Well, those people are doing the good work.
Got anything else for us?
Oh, no. Hey, good to talk to you guys.
Hey, bro,
All right.
we'll talk to you.
Appreciate you calling in.
All right, so we're still taking calls. The phone number is 707-300-7235. That's 707-300-7235. You're on with the Raspy Voice Kids Live. We are doing our very best, our call-in show. This is only the second one we've ever done. We're learning as we go. Things are getting better. It's already better than it was last week. It'll be better next week. and we'll just get into a groove. Tonight at 7, West Virginia takes on TCU. We talked about that game on the podcast. The bad thing is the podcast doesn't come out till Thursday, so it really doesn't matter what we said. But you can at least get a thought or get into the mind of the RVK when it comes to what we expect or what we think out of Huggy and the West Virginia Mountaineer basketball team. But in the meantime, in between time, we're going to keep answering questions. Score predictions for the basketball game tonight. The over-under, I think, is 151.5. Maybe it's 155. Where are you, Jimmy, going over or under on that? Now, we don't gamble. Just FYI, we do not gamble.
I'm going to go under.
We're just doing this as a just game.
I'm going to go under because our 42 points is going to put a real hamper on.
You know, we average, I think it's 75 points a game.
Do it?
74.7, something like that.
How many conference games have we played?
I mean, but still, it's more than I expected.
Wait till we get into. I mean, I guess these last few conference games.
I didn't expect us to average that much when I was looking at the numbers, but we average more than you think. I'm still going under on the number. If I was taking the over/under, I'd take under, and it's TCU -8, and I would say that's to. I think we cover tonight.
Okay.
I think we cover tonight. I don't know. I think this is we're like 7-2 against the spread. Anyway. I don't know why. It's so fascinating. I remember being at work and somebody taught me what the spread meant because I never understood plus and minus and all that other stuff and the hook and all that kind of stuff. And he taught me. And ever since he taught me, shout out to Nick DiCarlo, ever since he taught me, it changed the way I look at sports. Games that used to be boring or unimportant, even when the game is over, now I'm still looking to see the bad beat. I can't
That's
wait
what I was going to say. You get this SVP bad beat.
I can't wait for that moment for the bad beat. The bad beat with Stanford Steve and SVP. And I'm just glad. I don't understand how you guys do it, by the way. I don't know how you guys put your money on other people. Like, I could gamble on me if me and my boys going to play. I could gamble on me if I was the one doing the boxing. I can't put my money on people I don't know. Like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I work hard for money. I don't want to part my money.
Yeah. They talked about the question came in from Frost Sports. Are you excited about Pitt in 2022? Which is so funny because usually I would say it's so dumb. Like, why am I going to be excited something from way down the road? The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
100%.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play Pitt in football. I can't wait. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's all I think about. Like Neil Brown said, they won't let you sign the contract until you don't like Pitt. And like I said, that's a good start because you need to hate Pitt. But not liking Pitt is a good start. They got Neil Brown prepped, primed, and ready. I'm very excited about it. I hope it's part of the recruiting pitch to these kids that are coming into these next few classes because most of them will be here, even the ones who declare early at this point, 2019 class. I'm very excited about playing Pitt. I think about it all the time. I actually should have a countdown. You know, Instagram, I need to do that. I need to get a countdown because I can't wait. I hate them. I hate them so much. And, of course, they're going to have their best team they've had in decades when we get to 2022. That's just the way it works. Who else we got up there? Mike Reiser. Are they going to win tonight? We say, yeah. Frost is taking the under. Yeah, we do. We agree with you. I don't have a score prediction for tonight. I mean, I don't know. 81 to 76, I'll say. 81-76. We win.
Hopefully we pull it off.
What's your score prediction, Jay?
I have no clue. I have not seen TCU enough. I've been frustrated with the basketball team. You know, I watch them. I just never. You never know. And every game, I just hope maybe something clicks, something turns around. Maybe we get it. And I just don't. I'm so lost with this team. I'm just like Bobby. I'm lost with this team. I'm just like the rest of Mountaineer fans, Mountaineer Nation. Like I see some things that are that are good and some positive things. I just don't know what to make of them. I mean, I do know what to make of them. I'm just hoping that somehow they break through, and I just don't get the feeling that tonight's going to be that night.
Shout out to Matthew Beaver, who says, I can't call and watch, so I just want to say I really appreciate your time and effort. There's not enough coverage of our ears. Thanks for the vids. And interested to see how the call-in show goes. Keep it up. Thank you, Matthew Beaver. We started the show in large part because we love West Virginia. That's the main reason. The other part is because we like to talk and we can't shut up, and so this is a good way to get that out. But the other thing is we felt like there was a void. There were people who covered West Virginia, but there weren't people who covered it the way that we do. We cover it as fans. We cover it as your friends, the people that you're drinking a beer with around the campfire, the guys that you're driving home from the Coliseum with, your family, your wives, your girlfriends, your daughters that are coming home from Mountaineer Field after a win or a loss. We want to talk about West Virginia in that form and fashion. We don't pretend to be anything we're not. We just have fun with it, but we just do a little more research than maybe your average fan does. So we thank you for listening, for watching, and enjoying, and hopefully we'll keep doing it.
How excited are you that you look at, like I said earlier, I was talking about how he was talking about he doesn't want to be miserable, and he referenced Dabo Sweeney.
Talking about Neil Brown?
Neil Brown. I just feel like it's refreshing to get a guy in here who's going to have fun, you know?
I feel like Dana had fun. I think some people might tell you that was part of the problem. He had too much fun. So, I mean,
I don't know. I just, sometimes in his interviews and just hearing his answers.
Dana hated the media. He hated the media, but
and for me, that's
the rest of life he was having fun.
But my only interaction with him is watching media. Like, I never saw, I mean, granted, you don't need to be dancing in the locker rooms. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I feel like it's a little more free spirit, happy spirited. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like they're going to be disciplined on the field.
Yeah, I feel like Neil Brown's been very buttoned up. I haven't seen him like going crazy.
But his comments, and he even referenced nobody had more fun than Dabo. I just feel like
you're
it may
right.
be a more fun atmosphere.
Maybe, but I don't see it yet. Like everything I've seen about him has been super buttoned up. Like I haven't seen anything exciting, anything I've seen from him that made me think, man, that guy's fun. Like Dabo, immediately's on the mic.
You didn't see that video that came out
from when he was at Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, but I haven't seen anything since he's been at West Virginia.
Yeah, not yet.
The flight in, his interaction with Shane, even his interactions with fans were very demure. I mean, he just seemed kind of, almost boring, to be honest with you. And I kind of like it because I feel like it's the complete opposite of Dana. Like, Dana comes in, he gets arrested, he gets kicked out of a casino immediately. Neil Brown comes in, and he's at the gate saying, thank you for coming in, really.
Yeah, but the video makes me feel like he's a little bit more fun, and I don't know. I guess I'm just excited for this whole just I don't know. It just feels like the whole atmosphere has changed in a positive way.
Well, definitely the atmosphere's changed. I agree, but I feel like it's more buttoned up as opposed to the Red Bull swigging, telling you what he had for Thanksgiving dinner. High fiving the opposing team's player who just embarrassed us. Like to me, Dana was all fun. Like, and I did interact with Dana in situations where it wasn't just business. And let me tell you, Dana knows how to have fun. Neil Brown to me is just business. I like it. And we have reach out and get him on again. We talk to Pat relatively often. If you don't know, we have a partnership that we're working on where they're going to feature our show on his website. Raspy Voice Kids will be featured on PatMcAfeeShow.com, but we're working on that. In the meantime, in between time, we have some conversation every once in a while. That guy's very busy. He's doing a lot, representing West Virginia to the fullest. We love it. All right, we got time for maybe one more call. 8 minutes? What time is it? All right, yeah. So we got time for a couple more.
Or just like a few more questions in the chat.
Let me see. Who else we got up there? For pay, none of which are any good. No, yeah, I agree. All right. I will say that if there's anything you think we can do differently with this call-in show, you let us know. Because this is a work in progress. We're evolving. We told you it's going to be an hour. We're giving you an hour. That way, if you planned your day and said, I could get home for the last 5 minutes, we won't miss you. You won't think, man, I tried to get there and I missed you. So we'll give you the whole time. But if there's something you want us to do, if you want us to give you a topic you want us to talk that we want to talk about, maybe a question for the call-in show before you call in that way we have something we're talking about, that's fine. We can also just do this. You can call and do rapid fire with us. Ask us, would you rather questions. We'll answer. Is ask us anything. We'll talk about anything, and it does not have to be just West Virginia sports. So feel free to call us whenever, whatever, because we'll talk about whatever. As Jeremy and I have already shown, we'll talk about whatever. And Jeremy and I don't always agree, as you can tell. I think that's part of the fun people have with the show a lot of times. We disagree plenty. We disagree openly and honestly. So, we'll disagree with you with no problem. So just let us know. And people up there talking about Pitt. Okay, that's enough Pitt talk. We're done with them. We got till 2022. Every once in a while we'll make some comments, but they don't deserve our time and attention. By the way, last week we had a caller, our first caller called in, and he talked about the same thing Chris Hall talked about often. He talked about rooting for Pitt or rooting for Pittsburgh teams as opposed to rooting for Pitt. What did you say about that, Jay?
No, I don't hate Pitt. I don't hate the city of Pittsburgh. I hate Pittsburgh University. That's who I hate. So if you want to root for the Steelers, if you want to root for the Penguins, the Pirates, I don't have a problem with that, especially because we don't have a pro team and the proximity to West Virginia is very close. But the Panthers, obviously, that's my problem. Lowercase p all day.
It's a completely different thing, and I'm with Jeremy 100%. They don't even wear the same colors as the rest of the team. Everybody else is black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
The city of Pittsburgh doesn't even care about the Panthers.
No, they don't. And they haven't for years. They like Penn State. They like West Virginia. They don't care about Pitt. Yes, Matthew is always going to be on Tuesdays for now because on Tuesday is when we do our recording Jeremy and I don't live in the same area, so Jeremy comes up, we do our recording, and so Tuesday evening is the best time for us to do it. Soundbite of Jay saying I don't hate Pitt. That was a fraud. He didn't mean to say that. He meant he doesn't hate the city of Pittsburgh. Nice try though.
Nice try.
Frost Sports was talking with the Detroit Lions. What is there to talk about?
What do you want to talk
Matt
about?
Patricia. What do we?
Unless we're doing Throwback Thursday, there's no reason to talk about the Lions ever.
Even Throwback Thursday.
No, you can talk about Barry. Okay, you can say
That's
something about
it.
Barry. That's it. That's all you got.
I'm going.
Stretch it if you want to talk about Herman Moore. Okay.
Michael Cuthbertson. Did I say your name right? Michael Cuthbertson. Cuthbertson is my first guess. Martell or Kendall, and what's the pros and cons? And in neither, what's your thoughts on improvement? I want Martell. I think he's more physically gifted. I'm with Jeremy. I like a dual threat quarterback in college football. Because of the way defenses are, because of the talent level, dual threat quarterback gives you way more options. The play for West Virginia with Major Harris was a broken play, and then he made it happen with his feet. A guy like Jack Allison, a guy like so many other pocket passers are not able to do what a dual threat quarterback can do when things just go crazy. So that's why I like Martell over Kendall, even though I'm not sure that you have the same stability. But again, I trust that if we bring him in, Neil Brown has looked into his eyes and has decided he is what we need, and he'll be good enough in the locker room and on the field to be a Mountaineer.
I have not seen if Kendall can run the ball or not. I know he can throw the rock. I YouTubed it. I watched him drop the dime in the bucket time after time after time. Obviously, getting either one of them would be huge, would be big as long as they're the right fit. But I'm with Brandon. When you have that extra variable of being able to run the ball when everything breaks down, I'm taking that all day in college football. I'd rather see Tate Martell as long as the fit is right.
Yep, it's like everything else. You know, you meet good women, she may not be the woman for you, right? And she's perfect for somebody else. And there's not a lot of good women, period, so you do the best you can. And that analogy goes with quarterbacks. There's not a ton of great quarterbacks, so you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. That's what I used to teach my kids. They don't be throwing fits no more.
Corby Patton, he says, what about hating Virginia Tech?
What about it?
Yeah, what about it?
Why we hate Virginia Tech is our second biggest video we've ever done.
Yes, and it's full of passion because it's real. I can't stand Virginia
real.
Tech. I can't stand the Virginia Polytechnics.
Hate them. And just Dustin, I was just wondering why OU has had to bring in transfer QBs when they are blue blood. Instead of recruiting them out of high school, they have the number one class, though. Here's why. Because you take what you can get. I don't know why people were on Dana about not getting a high school quarterback.
Why is this even? I'm sorry, Justin. Why is this a question?
Who cares?
Kyler Murray just won the Heisman.
Yeah,
he just won the Heisman.
Baker Mayfield won it before him.
Maybe everybody should be just getting blue collar quarterbacks.
Yeah,
he won the Heisman. Like, how can there be any complaining?
And Baker won it the year before. He was a transfer. What it should tell you is, as Mountaineers, we should stop complaining about transfers. All you should care about is, do you get talent on the roster?
And in this new market, transferring quarterbacks is going to be the way to go
from now on.
Why wait? I mean, recruit them in high school, but make sure you maintain good relationships because next year they could be coming to you.
And the part I don't get is I don't know why Dana couldn't get guys to come to Morgantown. You think they'd be drooling over it with the kind of numbers that Skylar Howard, who wasn't recruited by any Power Fives, put up. They weren't. Will Greer saw the opportunity. Now he's second in the record books in a lot of categories.
Check this out. Jason Miller says Shane needs to schedule Houston within the next couple years.
Never.
No, he doesn't. First of all,
G5.
Our next 4 years, we're playing 11 Power 5 teams every single year.
Yeah.
So we don't need another. Well, I guess they're not Power 5,
no,
but I'm just
G5.
saying. But the other thing is this. We're not doing Houston any favors. They get no favors. You want to play a big boy? Play somebody else. Play somebody Texas or whatever.
It doesn't do you any good. Look at the SEC. They play cupcakes in November, and they win. There's no reason to play Houston, who's a top-level G5. There's no reason to play them. There's no regional reasons. We play in Texas plenty as far as recruiting. There's no benefit to playing Houston, who's going to want a home and home. There's no reason. I can see some fans being excited, but I don't think people care enough about Dana to have enough. It's not like Don Nealon or Rich Rod the way he left. There's no reason. But let me see. So yeah, so that wraps it up. That wraps it up at 6:59. Real quick, follow Jeremy at JNFeen on Instagram and Twitter. Follow us at the Raspiest on Instagram, at Raspy Voice Kids on Instagram. Follow me at I Also Hate Pitt everywhere. Lowercase p, never capitalize their name. ESP, lowercase p. You know what I mean. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're listening right now, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad. Tell everybody to like, listen, subscribe, and review on all of our podcasts. New show out Thursday morning. We love y'all. We'll holla. Get at us.